Alright, so on this series of clips, we are going to rebuild this house. I'm going to be getting rid of the last video because if you watched the last video, which not many people did watch it yet because my stream on my Twitch isn't that big, but the end of the video, tried something new with the little roof part that goes up like this and comes down, and I tried to do something differently with that, and the texture did not turn out like I was hoping, so we're going to do something different, and we're going to do texturing as we go, so we can kind of see the texture before we add all of the pieces together, so we can kind of fix it instead of having to redo the whole entire thing. So, first step is we need to do some resizing. So I'm gonna go ahead. This isn't a blank one. I'm gonna go ahead and start it fresh once this is a fresh video. Go to General, open up a fresh thing. Click on. You can use the number pad 1 if you have it set up to that. I think you need to go to preferences to set it up if you're new, or that might be one of the things that's already automatically. I don't know if that's automatically set up or not. But go ahead and hit 1, or click on this over here where it says controller number pad 1. It'll bring you to the front view. Delete all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and add a cube. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to scale this down on the Z. And we're going to do 0.1. Debating if I should do it small. And I don't want to do it too small, because that will be the floor. I'm debating if we should do it scale the 0.5, do a little bit more. Now we'll leave it at that. I think that's how I normally do it. And then go to the top view, Z, and scale it on the X. I think we're going to do maybe 10. Hope that's not going to be too big. Scale on the Y, also 10. Okay, I don't think that's too big. That might be actually kind of small. This will probably be a small house. We'll see what the size is once we actually get it into the game. But now we're going to go ahead and add a cube. Go to this grab, come up here, turn snapping on, turn snapping on to edge. We're going to snap this to the bottom. You can snap right there when you have the walls. Maybe I'll explain more while I do this later. But this is one of the ways I made mini houses, and this is one of the best ways I found to make it actually, the textures to match and everything, is you put it pretty much in the floor. Then you scoot it over to there, to the front. And then we want to scale it on the Y. It's Y.1. And then we'll bring it in like that. And then we'll just go to edit mode. Go to, doesn't really matter, verts or faces. Go to x-ray mode, grab this, bring this over there, and bring this over there. And now we want to see where height is. This is where the measuring is going to come in. So we're going to start with bringing it right about there. Debating if I want to make the walls a little bit skinnier. We'll decide that in a minute. I kind of want to just kind of size the door first. That's one of the main things we size is the door and the walls, to make sure the wall isn't too tall and make sure the door isn't too thin for the walk through or too wide, so it's like a double door, and or too tall and all. Yeah, so that's one of the main things we need to resize. So we're going to go ahead and add another object, and this is going to be, actually let's go and organize this a little bit. We're going to call this collection house. We're going to try to keep this organized. We're going to create a new collection. I'm going to call this collection carvers. This is what I use to carve the house, or carve certain stuff, because it's easier to carve than to scale and stuff like that, because scaling it and mushing it together will mess with the texture. So it's easier to do that, to carve it out. And I'll show you more of that once we get into actually carving the house out. I do have that on my last video, but like I said, I'm going to be getting rid of that other video as soon as this is done. Anyways, this is the door carver. Make sure it's in the floor, because you want it to carve through the floor, or else you're going to have something stick up that's going to look kind of weird. So go to there. And now we want to go to edit mode, and we're going to turn off snapping. See, when it comes down to it, if you look at a door, I'm looking at my door right now, it looks like it's maybe about that much of a room at top. So we want to maybe about like that. And then we're going to go back to object mode, and we're just going to scale it on the Y, no, X, scale it on the X, maybe 1.5, okay, 1.5 might work. We're going to bring this through, and then, so we can actually tell it, see them instead of just looking at this when we go into the game. So we're going to put it into the game, this is what we're going to see right there. We're going to actually go back to that. We're going to go ahead and color this and just do a, let's call it test color for now. Okay, we'll just call this test for like size testing and all that kind of stuff. And then we will color this blue so we can actually see it. And we won't worry about coloring the walls until we're ready to color the walls. Actually, no, maybe we will, because if we do, let's go and do that now. Let's go and go to edit mode. We're going to go ahead and add 2 new colors. And we're going to do, we'll do interior walls. And I don't know if I should just change it all to root. Oh. And then do exterior walls. And then we'll go ahead and color interior walls. Let's do that color. Bring it down a little bit. Then interior walls, go to face. Make sure you turn off X-ray so you can grab the face easier. Interior walls, we are going to paint. Go to sign, and we're just going to go ahead and paint this. This for now. I'm just going to kind of keep on bringing the colors down. So I'm going to pick random colors and just keep on doing that. There you go. So there's exterior and interior walls. They actually look too much alike. I'm going to go bring this down a little bit more. There you go. Now you got interior and exterior walls. And let me see here. I think that's all we need to do. Now we're going to go ahead and go back to object mode. We're going to highlight all of the stuff. Actually, we're going to go ahead and rename some of this stuff real quick too. We're going to call this door carver. We're going to call this floor. And we're going to call this wall. And we'll combine all the walls together once we're done with the house. Alright, so now we're going to highlight everything again, go to File, we're going to go ahead and save, I'm not going to save yet. I'm going to export, FBX, and we're going to go back to this one right there. Where is that right there? And then video editing, Streamlabs, and I want to save it inside of my Blender, or export inside of my Blender exports. So copy dot selected objects, and I think that's everything. Export out. We're going to do small house, and export it out. Now I think a game should already be open. Next I need to find. It's already in that folder. Now we need to go over here and we're going to, where is objects? I'm going to bring the small house into that. Bring the small house into there like that. Where's the player at? I'm going to bring the player closer to the house. And I think that's everything I need to do. Now let's see what it looks like on the sizing. If you need to shrink it down. Okay, yeah, this does look big. We could probably change the whole size. We're going to see if I change the size to point. Oops, what did I do that for? 0.5. Oops. 0.5. 0.5. And 0.5. Alright. Okay, so if we bring it down to 0.5, it does look like that might be a good size for it, but we will need to increase it a little bit. So which means we'll need to bring the walls up a little bit. Let's go ahead and go down to the player and zoom in real quick to get a better look. So I don't know, I could probably resize it to there, but I want to try to do it at 0.5 or keep it at 1. So you can either bring it down completely and keep it at 1, or you can bring it up and do it at 0.5. Actually, another thing I want to do real quick too is I'm going to go over here, go to this, and where is it at? Quicksel Mixer. And we're going to go ahead and bring over our red brick wall texture. Then we go over here, create a new material, and call this red brick wall. And then we're going to bring this up there. Metalness to metallic. Normal to normal. And then we'll do roughness to occlusion. Nothing doesn't really do anything. Fix now. Turn off the smoothness. Put the normals like that. Now we're gonna go to small house. And we're gonna put this into that. And where is it at? I lost it. There it is. Now. And then we're going to go ahead and resize it, and that's going to be our brick wall that we're going to be doing testing with to make sure our texture looks good. So this will be our texture testing thing. I'll bring it up. We'll do 10 and 10. 10 and 10. Okay, that might be too small. We'll try 5 and 5. See, actually, this one might be a little bit different. So we're going to end up increasing it up a little bit, but the reason why it's doing this is because, for instance, this is up and down. So we'll probably need to do 5 and 10. It'll probably look a little bit better because it's wider. If we made it the same size, 5 by 5 would be good, but since it's wider, we want to do 5 on the X and 10 on the Y. But there is that texture. It looks pretty decent. And then the back side looks decent as well. So let's go ahead and get back into Blender and bring this up a little bit. Okay, so the character stands right about there at the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the door, go to edit mode, make sure on X-ray, we're going to grab the top, and we're going to bring so he stands right about there. So if we bring it right about there maybe, And then we want to grab, or no, we'll just go to object mode, and then we'll scale it on the X. No. Scale it on the X. Maybe 1.5 again. We'll see if that's too wide. We're going to go ahead and go to edit on the wall. And we want to bring the wall up a little bit higher than the door. So maybe right about there might look good. Either there or we can do it one more high. We're going to keep it at that for now and see how that looks. Go to, oops, we don't have to save yet. Go to export, FBX. And the cool thing about size testing is once you export it, it's already set up to export. As long as you don't switch or exit out of the game, you can just go back here, highlight everything, go back here, export FBX, and everything's already set. So then you just click on export and boom, there you go. And then it's already ready to come back over here. You delete the one down here. Don't delete the one up here. Delete the one down here. It will remove that one, turn that red, come back down here to the game or the house, where's it at, exports, and then you bring this back down here to game objects. Make sure it goes to the same folder, because I don't think if it's not in the same folder, it won't register, so make sure it's in the same folder, and there you go. Now the house is imported in with the new sizing. Now let's go see how the sizing looks. Okay, so the door does seem wide. The height of the door does seem good. I might be able to increase the height a tad, not much, but the width does seem kind of high, so I might need to bring the width down a little bit. If you want it maybe, yeah, not that much at all. So I'm gonna cut the width down a little bit. We're probably gonna bring the height up a little bit because I want to be able to, you don't want to be able to like hit the head when you jump, or barely hit the head. Because like I can jump on my door and I probably wouldn't even hit my head on the door. So we want to make the door a little bit taller. And the wall will also need to be a little bit taller. So let me do another jump real quick and see. Okay, so we can jump to about as high as the wall. Okay, so if we come back over here to Blender, we're going to grab the door. Go back to edit mode again. Make sure it's on X-ray. Grab the top. And we're going to bring it up to right about there. Maybe a little bit lower. Maybe right about there. And then we're going to take the side. We're going to go to object mode and we're going to scale it on the X. We're going to do 0.75. Oh, that'd be too small. Scale X 0.9. We'll try 0.9. See how that works. That looks like it might be a decent sized door. Now, once again, go back, highlight it, file, export, FBX, and export it out. Go back to the game, delete it down here, and then come back to the file and import it in on the same folder. Now let's do a quick size testing. This does look good. We also might want to make the house a little bigger though, because the house is small. I was going to make a small house, but it's really small. Probably could decrease the door a tad. Well, no, because his jump is about the high as the door. I just don't want his jump to be too high, too much over the door. But the door still looks kind of big. Or it could just be my character also just has a big jump. Could probably turn the jump down a little bit, but sometimes you might need a big jump. Trying to think. What should we do? Yeah, maybe we'll bring it down a tad, not very much though. And then we're also going to check at this. Yeah, we're gonna double that size. So we're gonna go this. We're going to go to scale on the X and do 2. Scale on the Y and do 2. I'm gonna grab this and this. put snapping back on, bring this down there like that. So it's not gonna work because I need to do the wall. So grab the wall, bring the wall down there, take snapping off, grab the door, and bring the door down a tad, and there you go. Now I do want to bring down the door a little bit more. Not very much. So I'm going to go to the door, edit. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Just go to wireframe so I can see through it. Maybe about there. I'll do there. That might be too small. We'll do there. And then we're going to go back over here. Go to edit. We're going to grab the wall. Go to edit, and we're going to bring the wall up to right about there. And I think this is going to be good, so let's go ahead and check it out, and then we can add the walls, and then we'll end this clip because the sizing will be done, and we'll go on to the next clip and start working on the rooms in the house. Let's go ahead and test this out and see how it looks. Export, FBX, export. Go over here, delete this one on my back itches. Delete this one. Come over here, highlight this. Grab the game object in there. And let's see how it looks. I do think that looks better, but I do wonder if you can still bring the door down a tiny bit. But I don't want to bring it down too much. If I did bring it down more, it would only probably be a half a square. But then again, we might not need to. This looks like a decent sized house. I think we got the size down good for a small house. We can put a bedroom, a bathroom, a living room, and a kitchen up in here. I'm trying to see the width. So you can still probably decrease the width a tad. Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do one more thing, one more sizing. This should be good after this, hopefully. We're going to go ahead and grab the door, go to edit, go to that. We're going to bring the door down, go to wireframe, bring the door down to about there. I'm going to grab this. This down 2 squares also, like that. There you go. I think this will do it, I hope. So we can finish getting everything sized. Export, FBX, export it out. Go back here. Delete. And import it back in. Okay, that width does look good. I do like that width, so probably I think that'll be good. Because I want to make sure to where you don't bump into the door. You can actually walk through the door, but I think that will be good. I think you'll be able to walk into the door that way. And then if you jump, it's a little over the door. Like I said, I think it's have a big jump, but I think that works good. I'm trying to see how big the wall is too. So you might want to lower the wall. Maybe not. Maybe the wall. We don't want to be able to hit. We definitely don't want to be able to hit the ceiling when we jump. The door is one thing, but definitely not the ceiling. But it is. I don't know. Debating what I want to do with this because we could just decrease the door a little bit more because the wall does seem kind of tall. I think I wanted to decrease it a little bit more. When you jump, you get close to the top of the door, so maybe we can lower the wall 1 square. Look at that. So if you lowered it 1 whole square, it'd be that. That might be good, actually. That looks like it might be a good height away from the door. We're going to try that. Okay, bring this back in. Alright, now let's take a look at this wall, or this house, or this half house, or quarter house, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, looks good. You can't hit the ceiling, but you're close. Like I said, I think my guy just has a super jump. You probably could make the door a little bit small. Oh no, that looks like it might be right size, because when you stand through the door, there is still quite a bit of room above you, and I think I just have a big jump. So yeah, I think this looks good. And the wall looks good. We shouldn't be able to hit the wall when we jump, or the ceiling when we jump. Probably close to the ceiling, but we shouldn't be able to hit it. So I think this looks good. Now let's go ahead and go back to Blender. We grab the wall. We go to Edit. Grab the side. Make sure it's on X-ray mode. Go back to snapping on. We're going to grab this. Snap that over there. Go this. Snap that over there. And then we're going to go to object mode. You can do this to edit mode also, but I want to do it to object mode and combine them all together, because you could go to edit mode, highlight all of that, and duplicate it, and it will make another mesh in the same game object, so it'll be like one game object or whatever. But that will mess with our carving later on, so I'm just going to do this and make a bunch of different wall game objects, and then once we're done, we'll combine all the walls together. So I'm going to go ahead and Shift D. Bring this up there. Shift. Actually, no, we can do this now. With that and that. Shift D. Rotate on the Z 90 degrees. I'm going to do a quick snap check. Make sure it's snapped in there properly. I think I have them backwards. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to edit on this. We're going to highlight all that. We're going to rotate it on the Z 180 degrees. Go back to edit. Go over here, make sure it's snapped in, and there you go. Well, that's why it was all messed up, because this one also, for some reason, I forgot to flip that one. I'm going to to the side. Then we go to edit. We'll grab this one. Go to highlight. Up view. We're going to rotate Z 180 degrees. And there you go. And now we have our house set up. We're going to copy this, Shift D. We're going to get this now to get out of the way. We're going to bring this up. The roof does not want to be inside of the actual. We'll get to that when we get to that point. But when it comes to a one floor building, sometimes I will put the ceiling inside of the walls, and then when you go to a second store building, I'll put it above. But we'll see how we're going to do it. Sometimes if you put it above, sometimes this looks kind of messed up and the roof doesn't go on there properly. So we might put that through the roof. We'll see once we get to it. But anyways, I just wanted to make that to get out of the way. We're going to call this ceiling. Did I spell that right? I get it mixed up all the time with it's IE or EI. It doesn't look right though. Let's see what CI looks like. I always get those confused. I'll get those letters backwards. Okay, yeah, that looks like it's proper. CEILING. Okay, yeah. That looks proper. Alright, ceiling, floor, walls. We'll combine all the walls together later. We're gonna go ahead, actually we'll leave the ceiling on for now. And we're going to do one more export to get a little size test to see what it looks like with the walls and the ceiling. FBX, export, and we'll come back to this. Delete the small house. And game object. Let's go and do a size testing. We don't have colliders on them yet, so I should just be able to walk through the walls. And this don't look too bad. Looks like a nice size. Now we can size it out. It does look kind of big, but it will look better once we actually get the walls in here. Like we'll probably put a bathroom over here, like I did on the other house. We'll probably put a bathroom over here, and a bedroom over here. We'll have a kitchen over here, and then maybe a living room over here or something. So, you know what? I need to make sure my camera is actually working, so I'm not missing it. Okay. Sometimes I forget to change my camera, and it's recording one thing when you need to see my whole screen, because sometimes when I'm just recording one thing, like the Blender screen or whatever, and I go to File, it won't show you what I'm doing under File. So that's why I started going under this full screen. But anyways, I think that's all for the sizing of this house. And then next we'll get into building the walls and actually starting to build the house. But anyways, I will see you on the next clip.